Hey everyone, welcome to episode 5 of the photo show. My name is Brian Matiash. Today is May the 4th. Be with you. Get it? Really excited for today's show. Got some new announcements. Kind of didn't realize that this particular product was being announced today, but I'm happy that it was. And then we're just going to talk about some ways you can get content based on feedback that my members of my Facebook group called Evolve Your Eye have given me. So let's start with our first story, this new announcement here, which is the Everyday Messenger Bag 13 made by Peak Design. So for those of you that may not know, Peak Design, I absolutely love them. I've used their products for a long time now, and this is the original Everyday Messenger Bag right here. Oh, let me get rid of the lower thirds because that's blocking the precious shot. Oops. This is the this is the original Everyday Messenger, and it was built to support. This is my MacBook Pro. It's a 15-inch, and so it's meant to support a 15-inch MacBook Pro. It also has a slot for tablets, so I'll also travel with my iPad right here. And this has been with me. I went to Cuba earlier this year. I took this bag with me. It's gone to just about every single coffee shop in the Portland area when I go out working if I need to get out of the home office. This bag goes with me. I've said it before, this is one of the best designed bags ever. So what I want you to notice here specifically are the three kind of pockets with the origami dividers, because that's important when I show you the Everyday Messenger 13. So construction-wise, if you're the kind of person who wants to carry, say, 2 or 3 lenses and a camera body and say a 15-inch laptop with a tripod, great. This bag is perfect for you. It's got its Pro capture clip over here, so if you have a Pro capture plate, you can just snap it in, and I use that all the time when I'm walking around. If I have my camera with me, it's just kind of dangling in the front here. Just a great bag. Overall, super bag. If you're into messenger bags, I would say this is the best messenger bag on the market, and in a few minutes I'll actually qualify that statement. So here is, and I'll bring back the 15-inch for comparison. Here is the Everyday Messenger 13 in its tan color, which I really like. One, because almost everyone that I've seen who has the Everyday Messenger has the gray one. So this is just kind of like a beautiful bag. And Nicole, unlike me, has a 13-inch MacBook Pro. So I kind of stole this from her. And the pocket fits beautifully. There's plenty of space for the laptop, and then just nice padding internally. And then it also has another kind of divided pocket, same as the Everyday Messenger 15, where you can put your tablet in if you want. So easy to store a laptop in here, as well as just if you need to bring files with you, like actual paper files, or like I said, you have a tablet, plenty of space. Now remember when I mentioned that the 3 pockets in the 15, here you've got more along the lines of 2. So you can easily, it still has that great, like these origami dividers are the greatest. Like basically I go like this with my dividers. So I have a lens on the bottom here, and then I'll store something on the top, or you can just kind of have it upward like that if it's a really tall lens. So you can technically have 2 levels of storage, which is what I do in the Everyday Messenger 15. Actually, no, you know what? I stand corrected. You can probably get away with almost having 3 compartments if you're kind of creative with the origami dividers. You also have, just like in the Everyday Messenger 15, you've got this front pocket here for accessories, lots of space, and because the flap kind of has this kind of ladder system of this mag lock, you can actually have this kind of stay fattened out and then still lock it in place. Let me just get it. There we go. Oops. There. So like you can, in theory, have like tons of stuff in here if you need to. But overall, like I said, this thing has been through the ringer with me. And I have just kind of I've used a waterproof, like a rain-resistant cover that I've used for other bags. I just use it for my everyday messenger, and it fits fine. So you've got those features. One of the other features that I love also, and I've mentioned this about the Everyday Messenger 15. I don't know any other bag that does this, especially messenger bag. It's so underrated, but there's this flap here. You see this flap? It's a pass-through. And so what you do is you put your tripod leg through here, and you can either have the other two legs resting here or up here. And it actually makes for a really functional, if you have a travel tripod, it makes for a really functional tripod carrier. If you have a big beefy tripod, it might be a bit more cumbersome, but I bet you can still get away with it. You also have in here, there's a little pocket for the waist strap if you need to just kind of strap together. Here's the other side. So this is more if you're taking this on I guess more of kind of a hike. You would just strap this to your waist, and it would kind of prevent the bag from jostling around. And then you also have a zipper up here for easy access into the main camera compartment. So if you want to grab your camera or you need to put it away quickly and you don't want to open up the flap, you just unzip this and you're good to go. So that is I'll leave this out here for now. And I want to show you so this is off of Peak Design's website, this graphic here. And it shows you kind of what you can expect to put in with the Everyday Messenger 13. You've got tripod, like I showed you, a bunch of different accessories. They're showing a mirrorless camera with 3 lenses. One of them looks to be like more of a substantial lens with 2 smaller primes, easily. Especially if you're using the origami divider system. I mean, in this bag, I've had 4 lenses and 2 camera bodies when I was in Cuba. It's heavy, but that was when I would travel from one location to another, and then I would just kind of consolidate down to, say, 2 or 3 lenses with my camera body, and then I'd bring my iPad, and I'd leave the laptop in the hotel. But when I'm moving from place to place, the Everyday Messengers straight up are fantastic. Now, this is not my bag. I didn't get this bag. Peak Design did provide me with my Everyday Messenger 15, so I'm just putting it out there. But if it wasn't given to me, I have absolutely no qualms saying that I would spend every penny that they ask for that bag, because as photographers know, bags are kind of like, they're very intimate. You need a bag that works for you. Now, I mentioned that it's the best camera bag on the market, and I stand by that because as of today, so I was just before the show started, I was chatting with Peak Design's CEO, Peter, and he mentioned that I remember when Carryology was doing their call, user vote for best bags, and I voted absolutely in terms of the messenger bags for the Everyday Messenger, because I stand by it's the best bag out there. And today they announced that the Everyday Messenger actually won Best Messenger. So huge congratulations to Peak Design for that. I love it when a company is deserving of an award like that, an accolade, and gets it. So totally cool there. I'm going to go over to the Facebook page because I didn't even look to see if there are any questions or comments. Love the bag despite the strap. So Meg's saying she loves the bag despite the strap, and Colby's saying he put on a custom pad on the shoulder to make it more comfy. Oh, that's actually a good point. So for me, to be honest, I love this strap. It gets thicker over here. There's kind of a padding, and then there's more of a rubberized texture too. I've never had a problem, but I totally can see if it pinches on your shoulder, and what Colby's saying is, you can get kind of a padding. Totally worth it. I mean, that's an easy kind of supplemental thing you can add to your bag. But for the most part, I also forgot to mention there's this pocket here. So there are these pockets here where you can put your phone in, but I actually just use it to store business cards. So when I'm walking around, if I'm taking photos of someone and they ask, where they can find more of my work, or, just want to give contact info, you just quickly grab it there. Or in the other one over here, I'll add microfiber cloths. So I can always just grab a cloth. You can tell that this company is serious about photographers. And I know this sounds like a huge infomercial. I'm not getting paid a single penny for this. I just like to sing the praises of companies that really think about products for photographers, because there's so many companies and products out there that you don't know what quality control or where their kind of designers and product managers, what they were thinking about. And here you got Peak Design. I use everything. I use their strap, their slide strap. I use their clutch, which is the hand strap for the camera itself. And I use the Pro Clip to kind of stow the camera when I'm walking around. And they just released a kind of like a water resistant cover for when, and that I'm totally getting, because in the area where I live here in kind of Portland, Oregon, it was raining earlier. It rains all the time. And it'd be great, instead of having to put my camera away every time it starts to rain heavily, I just pull that little rain cover over. Josh, hey Josh. Yeah, Josh is saying pretty much every product by Peak is the best there is. So much thought and engineering goes into each product. Absolutely. I hope I'll let Peter from Peak Design know when this episode airs, just to show that they have their fans, and to think that all of their successes started from Kickstarter, and to see them kind of blossom into this huge company is brilliant. So congratulations, Peak Design, on your win for your Carry Award. I cannot congratulate you guys enough. I think it's well deserved. So well done. All right, let's move on to the next story here, which is a while ago in my group, my Facebook group, I asked a question, just because I think anyone who runs a group wants to make sure that they're providing their members with quality stuff, right? If you're not, if you're not moderating and you're not providing feedback and you're not asking people what they want to learn about, then you have a high risk of kind of letting the group fall into disarray. So I asked my group here, you can see it here, what's the one thing that you're looking to build upon in this group in terms of the content, and by far, and it's funny that you can see Josh's little chip over there, is improving my photo compositions, and then second, get better at my photo editing. So to that end, what I want to do is just take a minute to tell you about a kind of photo series that I've been doing with my friends at On One. In case you don't know this, I'm going to jump over to, excuse me. Colby, thank you so much, Colby. See, this is always one of those learning experiences. I guess I lost audio, and that's because I forgot to assign an audio channel to this. Okay, we're going to go back for a second. Oh man, I must have been talking for about 3 minutes. Sorry about that, guys. What I was saying was, I was telling the backstory of On One inspiration, how it came to be. And the kind of TLDR is that I used to work for On One years ago, and we created a series called On One Perfect Inspiration. And Colby, I want to give you a shout out. Thank you so much for that. And for David, I just saw both messages. I just didn't have a chance to look at them. So the point of On One Perfect Inspiration was it gave me an opportunity to kind of showcase the power of On One. And when I left On One to go work at Google, and then with Sony, and then for myself, that series just kind of went away. Recently, my friends at On One reached out and they asked if I wanted to partner with them and kind of resurrect. You can see, again, there's the the reboot of this series called On One Inspiration. And so we've been doing that. We've had guest presenters like James Brandon and my wife Nicole and Liz LePage, and Colby Brown is actually on the docket for one of the guest presentations. So what it does is it gives me the opportunity to practice more of my on-camera work, because every episode has an intro by me, and it also gives me the opportunity to keep myself fresh with stylizing photos, because that is a big part of my brand. Now, while we're at it, I also wanted to show you this post really quickly. This is where I kind of trailed off. On the first episode of the photo show, I mentioned that On1 announced the introduction of On1 Photo RAW, which is coming out later this year, and it's their opportunity to kind of tackle RAW processing, which is a big deal, and they've been getting a lot of interest, but they've also been getting a lot of questions. So I'm going to be interviewing Dan Harlicker, who is a good buddy of mine. He's also the product manager at On1, and we're going to talk more. But when I saw this post here that goes into questions that people have been asking, for those of you that are interested, I strongly recommend going here to this blog post. And then just lastly with On1, if you want to go see these episodes, you can just go there by going to on1.com/inspiration. And that will give you the opportunity to just watch all those videos. They're totally free. So sorry about that. Every episode so far, episode 1, I learned something. Episode 2, I learned something, which means that in every single episode, I've made some sort of flub. I had this episode built out in Wirecast, and then it crashed because I minimized that Chrome window, and I forgot to save, so I had to rebuild everything, which was frustrating. But I appreciate it. So you can see right here, if you want to join the group, if you go to evolveyoureye.com, it's just a URL pointer that will bring you to the Facebook group. So yeah, we have a good time there, and that's it. So I wanted to keep the show relatively short. It would have been even shorter if I didn't have that audio flub, which I'm gonna cut out in the archive for YouTube. But for now, what I'd like to do is queue up. So I'll give you a little bit of quick context. Actually, let me just clear this out there. So I have a closet of shame, which is, if I could pan the camera, let me see if I can give it to you there. So my closet of shame is like right there, okay? And in that closet of shame is a lot of stuff, more stuff than anyone needs. They're just like camera bags and wires, like spare wires and filters and monitors and stuff. Lots of stuff. So Nicole and I call it the closet of shame. And so when I have a buddy or something that needs something, so and if I have it, I'm not using it, I'll happily give it to them. So I was chatting with my buddy Colby yesterday, and he mentioned that his son Jack's tablet was on the fritz, and it was actually a Nexus 9 that I gave him a while ago. And so I remembered that I had this LG G-Pad, an 8-inch Android tablet, but it was a Play Store edition one, which means that it didn't have any of that stupid bloatware that Android has, or that some of the Android manufacturers put on their devices. So I told him, like, I'll send it over, because Jack wants to play Minecraft. And so Colby sent over this video here, and this is kind of like, this is going to be your moment of Zen type of thing with the Daily Show. I'm gonna lead you out with this video, and so I just want to thank you all for joining me on episode 5. And if there are any topics, any things that you're interested in covering, questions or news, please, by all means, just message me. There's no shortage of ways to get in touch with me. I'd love to hear from you. Actually, no, I lied. Before I jump to the video, I want to see if there are any questions here. I totally forgot to look. So everyone's telling me they lost audio. Thank you for that. James, I'm glad to hear that you're rebooting that series. I always enjoyed watching those videos. James, thank you so much for that. I want to thank my buddies at On1 for giving me that opportunity to kind of reboot the series, and it's fun. The episode I'm going to record right now is all about abstracts, so that'll go live probably on Friday. We try to release a new episode every Friday, and that's episode 8. So we're doing pretty good. So stay tuned for that. Again, it's on1.com/inspiration, totally free. And it has a little bit of Lightroom stuff and a lot of On1 Photo 10 stuff. All right, so with that, your moment of zen.
I love you, Uncle Blaine. I had a great day and I kicked you in the face.
Don't kick him in the face. Show what is this? What are we looking at?
We look in that Minecraft.
Yeah, do you like Minecraft?
Yep.
Is it the best game ever?
Yeah, time to play.
Thanks, Uncle Brian.